Okay, good morning, class. So for today's meeting, we are going to talk about the types of radiation effects. Okay, so the first that we are going to have in this radiation effects, of course, pagka sinabi nating radiation effects, ito yung mga napoproduce ng radiation when it comes into interaction with the biological matters. So, first and foremost, yung pinaka-simplest, let's talk about the subcellular radiation effects. The subcellular radiation effects. Okay, so pag sinabi nating subcellular, it simply pertains to damage at the cellular level. Damage sa cell. So mainly anong na-damage sa cell natin? Yung mga organelles. Yan, yung mga different organelles before, tackle natin. And one of the most important organelle na nandun, yung target molecule, the most critical molecule is the nucleus. Because the nucleus house the DNA. Yan, yung nagsiserve as the blueprint of life. So kaya kapag na ito yung naapektuhan ng radiation, the cell can result into dysfunction and magiging abnormal yung function niya, or it might result even to cellular death. Okay, so yan, isa-isahin natin yung mga types that is quite occurring in the subcellular radiation effects. Okay, so unahin natin yung nangyayari at the DNA level. So one of the or the most critical molecule na maapektuhan ng radiation, which could produce yung mga nabanggit natin kanina lang na effects. Okay, so let's talk about the types of radiation effects. And so etong sino-show dito is some sort of radiation effects on DNA. Effect on DNA. Okay, so the first type of radiation effect is what we call single strand break. Single strand break. Okay, sa single strand break, ang nasira, okay, so ang nasira lang is the one side. So one side only yung na-damage ng radiation. And this is the most easy to repair. So yung ating cell, may ability siyang mag-repair kaya nga just give it time, it can recover uh, sa effects ng radiation. So especially kung hindi naman super extensive nung naging damage just like this one, yung single strand break. So isang side lang nung double helix ladder ng DNA yung naapektuhan. So, and if we are going to relate this discussion previously, so yung ating single strand break, it often can be associated with direct heat or indirect effect dun sa target theory before. So yung radiation na direkta siyang tumama sa nucleus, tinamaan niya yung ating critical molecule which is the DNA. So of majority of the time, the direct effect resulted into single strand break, or pwede rin naman yung mas malalang form nito, of course, kung meron tayong single strand, meron tayong double strand. And the double strand break. So sa double strand break, both side na yung nasira ng double helix ladder. And this is a more serious, and so severe yung damage pagka dalawang end na ng DNA molecule yung nasira. And this might result yung double strand break to chromosomal aberrations na susunod natin pag-uusapan. Yan yung chromosomal aberrations. And pwedeng yung collections ng DNA as they create the chromosome of the cell ay maapektuhan kasi malaking segment na ng ating DNA molecule yung nasira. Yan. And siya rin dahil nga most severe to, ito yung mas pwedeng mag-lead dun sa apoptosis or yung cellular death. Pwede nang madetekto ng cell na masyadong sira yung kanyang interior, especially yung kanyang DNA, yung mga nucleic acids that's responsible for synthesizing the important biomolecules, especially sa case ng proteins. So kaya yung cell, pwede niya nang i-program yung sarili niya na mag-undergo ng programmable death or yung apoptosis nga. Okay, then yan, as demonstrated here, ito yung itsura ng single strand break. Yan, isang side lang. Pero yung mas severe na form, yung pagka pinutol na ng husto, kumbaga ba sa puno, pagka yung partial lang na natapyas, hindi pa rin tataob. Pero kapag ka naputol na ng buo, yung puno, pwede na siyang mag-fall down. Yan, so ganun din yung ating DNA. So mas severe kapag completely na siyang na-cut off. Yan. So that's the double strand break. And si double strand break, uh, it can also be produced by direct or indirect effects. So kung naalala nyo before, pag direct heat, si radiation yung mismong tumama. Pag indirect naman, yung radiation tumama sa water or yung pinaka most abundant na molecule sa cytoplasm. Then it create free radicals as shown here, water, yung mga hydroxide, hydroperoxyl, superoxides, and your hydrogen peroxide. And this reactive oxygen species or yung mga free radical, sila yung magta-travel and they can reach the DNA and produce the damage. Okay, so that's the two basic type. However, one of the consequence of this type of damage, yung mga subcategory na lang to, yung tinatawag nating base damage. So pag sinabi nating base damage, it simply pertains to yung pairing ng ating nitrogenous base. So yung apat yan, yung adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. So kapag ka yung pairing nila, yung nasira, yung pagdugtong ng adenine to guanine and yung adenine to thymine at yung guanine to cytosine, yung pagdidikit nila, yung hydrogen bonds nun, pagka yun yung naapektuhan and it result to may nawala or may nagbago sa arrangement, it can result into what we call the base damage. At etong base damage, yung mga nagre-result sa sa mutation. Specifically, ang tawag natin sa mutations na yon ay point mutations affecting the sequence of amino acids during protein synthesis. And point mutations, pag yung base yung nasisira. Another one na sub-consequence ng two main type ng effect ng radiation sa DNA is yung tinatawag nating cross-linking. And we have the what you call cross-linking. So sa cross-linking, yung ating DNA, umikot siya. So umikot, nag-iba ng pwesto, and resulted na kumonekta siya sa other DNA molecule. Halimbawa, may DNA din dito na may double helix ladder. Etong isang part, dumugtong dun sa isang segment. Tapos ito naman dumugtong sa iba. So nagkakaroon ng pagdudugtong na hindi naman dapat nangyayari. So ang tawag natin doon ay cross-linking. And so which is ang effect nito yung erroneous link. Yung erroneous link na yan, yung hindi dapat nagdudugtong hindi dapat nagdudugtong, it could be DNA to DNA or a DNA to a protein. And so ang nahihinder niya is yung replication. So it will hamper the DNA replication or sa case ng ating transcription. Pagka magpo-proceed na yung protein synthesis or yung transcription, and masisira siya. Okay, so kaya yung damage sa DNA is the most critical. Siya yung pinaka-target molecule na makakapag-produce nung effect ng radiation. Okay, let's talk about another set, yung tinatawag naman nating yung effects naman ng radiation sa chromosome. Effects of radiation to chromosome. Okay, pag sinabi nating chromosome, this simply pertains to the aggregates of DNA. So yung DNA natin, pag nagsama-sama sila, and they condense to their respective proteins, they might create the structure of chromosome. And oftentimes si chromosome, siya yung key structure for the genetic material of the cell to be transmitted to the daughter cells during cell division or nung sa part ng cell cycle. And kapag magpaparami na yung cell, they congest their DNA to form chromosome. So kapag at the chromosomal level, ito yung mga possible na mangyari. So ito yung appearance ng typical na chromosome, yung normal na letter X composed of chromatids. Yan. So etong isang part na to, this is a chromatid. Yan. So chromatid din yan. And what we call the uh, sister chromatids as the cell division happen. Okay, so and that's the chromosome. Now, ang oftentimes na tawag natin sa damage ng DNA to chromosome or any irregularity sa structure ng chromosome, we call it chromosomal aberrations. Yan, as mentioned dito. Yan, chromosome aberration or the chromosomal aberrations. And meron tayong mga possible na mangyari dyan. And one of that is yung deletion. And so, isa sa mga type ng chromosomal aberration is deletion. And so, from the word deletion, na-delete. So, halimbawa, tumama yung radiation dyan, nawala tong piraso na to ng chromosome natin. And remember, portion of a chromosome is a long strand of DNA constituting a locus for a gene. Yan, yung segment ng chromosome na may genes na hawak. So, kaya malaki yung yung effect nun pagka nawawalan siya ng segment. Okay, so aside from the deletions, meron pa tayong translocation and translocation. So pag sa translocation, bawa etong segment na to na lipat sa so na ano siya na lipat sa segment. Halimbawa yung portion ng DNA or yung DNA segment napunta siya dito. So nalipat ng pwesto, that is what we call translocation, na lipat ng position or ng location. And the third one, we have the inversion. Sa inversion naman, nag-switch sila ng pwesto. Halimbawa, itong tuktok na to. Itong portion na to, pag natanggal, lilipat dito. Tapos ito namang matatanggal, malilipat siya dun sa pwesto na pinanggalingan nung lumipat or ng agaw ng pwesto niya. And that is what we call the inversion. Then we also have the what you call dicentric end-ring formation. And ito yung dicentric, tas ito naman yung ring. Okay, so dalawa yung tinatawag na centromere. Yung gitna kasi ng chromosome, we called it the centromere. So, supposed to be dapat per chromosome, isa lang. Ang nangyari dito dahil naputulan sila ng segment and nagdikit yung mga naputulang sides or arms ng ating chromosome. It resulted to what we call dicentric malformations or aberration. Pagka naman yung nag-failed na mag-divide na chromosome, so instead na nag-replicate siya, yung naputol na segment, na lang, na dikit na lang, naging ring formation. Hindi niya na kumpleto yung pagiging X form niya. And yun yung normal kasing appearance ng ating ng ng ating chromosome rather. Okay, so yung dicentric and ring is often resulted by misrepaired double strand break. So itong dalawang to, it's more likely double strand break. Yan, double strand breaks. Yan, hindi sila na-repair ng tama. So nag-result into malformation of the chromosome. So one of the sign na fragmentalize ng husto or significantly na loss yung mga segments ng chromosome ng nucleus is the manifestation na lumiliit siya. Ang tawag natin doon is micronucleus. Pagka maliit yung nucleus, nag-result siya to macronucleus. It means na fragmentalize ng gusto, fragmented, and maraming nawala na chromosome or nucleic acids ng ating nucleus. Kaya lumiit siya. Na supposed to be dapat lumalaki pa dahil needed yun for the cell division to happen. And one of the consequence of this chromosomal aberration, yung tinatawag nating aneuploidy. Pag sinabi nating aneuploidy, abnormal number of chromosome. Okay, so tayo, supposed to be as a diploid organism, ang tao 2N. Yan, syempre tao, pasyente natin tao. So 2N tayo. So dapat magkapares. So we have a 23 pairs. So in total, we have 46. So kapag ka nagkaroon ng variation, instead of 46, ang nangyari, let's say naging 47 or naging 45 na lang, or basta nagbago yung ideal or yung normal na number ng chromosome ng cell ng isang tao, that resulted to aneuploidy. At yan yung karaniwang naririnig nating mga genetic problems or mga chromosomal link problems like yung Down syndrome, Turner syndromes, yung aralin nyo sa inyong pathology subject. Yan yung mga genetic disorders. And so dahil yun sa pagka-abnormal ng numbers na supposed to be dapat 46 lang. And then yung mga sobra sa isa, I mean, dapat dalawa. Sa isa-isang chromosome, magkapares dalawa lang. Yan. Tapos ang nangyari, either sumobra ng isa, naging triploid or naging isa na lang, monoploid. Eh, dapat nga dalawa. Dahil ang kompleto, isang pares. Okay, next na pag-usapan natin is the pattern of cell response. Let's talk about the cell response to radiation. Yung cell response to radiation. So, yung ating cell, it doesn't mean na kapag ka na tamaan siya ng radiation, mamamatay na siya kaagad. So, remember, it can still live for a certain time because it has the capacity to repair. So, yung unang process is the reparative process. Reparative process natin. Okay, so ang key dito for the repair to happen is yung ating DNA. Meron siyang mga repair enzymes. At yung mga enzymes na yon, siya yung parang bandage ng DNA na kapag may kaya pang ayusin, aayusin siya ng mga enzymes na to. Pero kung masyado ng significant yung loss, like yung nangyayari sa double strand break, nagpira-piraso yung DNA pagkatama ng ionizing radiation, hindi na kaya. So it will trigger yung death na lang or yung apoptosis instead of fixing the damage. Okay, the second one na nangyayari is yung ating cell cycle delay. Okay, so from the word delay, so yung normal na progress na interface, di ba kung maalala natin, that is interface, yung preparation part, tas mitosis or yung meiosis or yung division, then yung daughter cells na. And so instead na mangyari yung tamang timing ng cell cycle natin, nagkakaroon ng delay. And so yung delay na to, more often ginagamit tong paraan ng cell for repair to happen. So repair before replication. And so kapag nadidelay yung cell cycle, it means na may na-detect yung mga checkpoints na sira doon sa molecules ng genetic materials. Kasi kapag inalaw nilang magtuloy-tuloy yon, it can lead to mutations and pwedeng maging abnormal yung cell, or kung magkaroon man ng daughter cell, hindi sila viable or hindi nila kayang mabuhay kasi nga merong nawalang function. Okay, so next one, kapag yung cell hindi na talaga kayang i-repair yung naging damage, it might result to apoptosis. Yan, kung naalala nyo last time, apoptosis is a programmable cell death. Yan, a program death. So bago naman to i-trigger itong mechanism na to ng cell, susubukan, mag-a-attempt muna siyang mag-repair. Pero kung wala na talagang pag-asa, i-ano niya na to. Kumbaga ba sa humans, ito yung tinatawag na euthanasia. So kaysa naman pahirapan pa yung organism, yung ginamit sa mga experiments, and o wala namang magiging positive na effect yung pagpe-preserve sa kanila. So it's better na i-perform na lang yung plant death. Yan, that is kung sa cell to, ang tawag natin is apoptosis. And commonly irreparable yung damage, hindi na kaya ng mga ng recovery mechanism niya na i-repair pa. Okay, and the fourth one, na kung hindi man mag-apoptosis, it might undergo senescence. Yan, na banggit din natin to last time, yung senescence. So kapag ka sa senescence, the cell will arrest itself from entering the cell cycle again. So cycle arrest or cell cycle more specifically. Cell cycle arrest, hindi na siya magdi-divide pa. So magdi-decide na siya na tumigil ng mag-divide, preventing further the spread of the abnormal genetic material. Yan. So kasi kung yung damage na nangyari ay napamana sa mga daughter cells at yung mga daughter cells na yon ay magpaparami din and abnormal yung laman nilang genetic code, it might result to some complications. And majority of the time, kung hindi mangyayari ang senescence, yung apoptosis, kapag hindi okay yung cell, especially dun sa genetic material niya, saka yung senescence hindi siya na-trigger, yung abnormality na na-incur nung radiation sa cell, it might result to cancer. Yan. So, hindi naman automatically pagka na-damage nung radiation yung cell, magiging cancer kaagad. So may mga preventive measure yan yung mga cells na yan. Pero kapag hindi nila nakinaya at inallowed nilang mag-divide yung mga abnormal cell, and that is the primary characteristics of malignancy or yung cancer. Kaya next is yun nga, and speaking of yung last part, yung transformation, which is a pathology na tinatawag tong metaplasia. Yan, yung tissue magta-transform dun sa normal niyang characteristic and appearance due to the individual cells that replace yung normal na mga cells doon sa organ na naging abnormal in terms of function. Yan, so which is hindi na sila makontrol ng katawan and nagiging nagrebellion na. Yan, nagre-rebellion na yung mga cell, yun ang magiging nagiging end result, which is sa madaling salita, that is the cancer process. Okay, so let's have now the types of cell death. Okay, types of cell death. First one, apoptotic. Yan, apoptotic cell death. So ito program death. So well-regulated. Yan, kababanggit lang natin ito kanina. So this is a well-regulated cell death. So this is oftentimes si cell na mismo yung nag-decide na kailangan na mag-suicide ng cell kasi or else magiging cancer siya. And so or some sort of problem, magiging problematic cell. Then we have the necrotic cell death. Last time nabanggit din natin to, necrotic. Pag necrotic naman, this is uncontrolled cell lysis. Yan, uncontrolled. Unlike si apoptotic, program, regulated, controlled. Etong si necrotic, this is uncontrolled. Yan, uncontrolled cell lysis. So nagbe-burst out. Common nangyayari ito kapag na-injure yung organ. Bawa na nagkaroon ng trauma or chemical contaminations like nalason yung organ o yung mga cells niya or sa case halimbawa ng yung severe form ng radiation damage, yung sobrang lakas na dose ng radiation yung nabigay, instead na apoptosis yung maging resort, necrotic. At ang necrotic is violent. So immediate na pagkamatay ng mga cells kapag necrotic. And hindi yun maganda kasi hindi na bibigyan ng chance na maka-recuperate yung body ng organism pagka necrotic cell death yung nangyayari. And oftentimes ito, high dose. Gawa siya ng high doses of radiation kung under the field of radiology yung pag-uusapan natin. Next one, we have the autophagy related cell death. And autophagy-related cell death. So pag sinabi nating autophagy, this is self-digestion ng cell. So dito, ang tinitrigger ng cell is yung yung pag-burst out ng lysosome. Yan, si lysosome yung uutusan. So si lysosome, it's either it can digest the entire cell, yun yung mabilisan, or portion lang, like yung mga cellular debris or yung mga organelle or yung subcomponents nila, yung lilinisin. So that's autophagy na etong autophagy, nangyayari din to during yung kapag sa fasting. Habang nagpa-fasting, yung dahil walang na-digest si lysosome na pumapasok sa cell, yung ibang mga proteins or mga organelles na nasa loob ng cell, yung i-start niya na i-digest. Yan. So kaya pagka like ngayon sa mga sa Ramadan, yung mga nagpa-fasting na Muslim brothers and sisters natin, they are experiencing autophagy. Yan, especially kung prolong yung fasting. And somehow some research claim that autophagy is somehow beneficial, pero may mga precautions doon, hindi porket mayroong autophagy good siya palagi. So again, it should be properly administered. Yan. So hindi porket maganda sobra-sobra ka magpa-fasting, baka iba ang mangyari. Okay, next we have the fourth one. We have the mitotic catastrophe. Mitotic catastrophe. Okay, so for mitotic catastrophe naman, syempre from the word mitotic, ang nagpi-fail dito yung mitosis. Hindi na nagdi-divide yung cell. Possible, severely damage yung mga chromosomes niyan. So, leading to cells that are failed to divide. Yan, so makakita ka ng mga conjoined na cells. So yung dapat maging daughter cells, hindi nila na kompleto yung mga stages ng mitosis, kaya ang itsura nila multinucleated. Commonly ang itsura niyan multinucleated. Marami siyang nucleus, and the cells are quite fragmented. Fragmented siya. Hindi kumpleto yung katawan. So hindi natapos yung mitosis. Yan, that's what we call mitotic catastrophe. Possible during cell division nangyari yung exposure ng radiation. And kaya na halt or naapektuhan niya yung accomplishment ng mitosis. Okay, so another important term, we have the what you called interphase death. Okay, another type to ng cell damage. So okay, pag interphase death, nangyari yung death ng cell. So yung death ng cell uh, during interphase. And the interphase part is before mitosis, before it divides. So, di ba sa cell cycle, ito yung pinakamahabang part yung interface. Yung paghahanda ng cell bago siya mabiyak at maging daughter cell. So, kung naalala nyo, ang interface is composed of G1, yung unang pagpapalaki niya, S, the DNA synthesis, and the G2. So, pag nangyari either of that three, either kahit sa GS or sa G2, so which is napakahaba ng mga parts na yan, pag yan nangyari yung pagkamatay ng cell, habang nagpi-prepare siya for division, ang tawag natin dun sa death na yon is the interphase death. And before it enter mitosis, before it divides. And so ang commonly affected dito sa ganitong klase ng cell death is yung lymphocytes. Yan yung mga lymphocytes, isa sa mga white blood cells natin na tumutulong for immunological response, especially kung severe yung chromosomal damage. Yan, si lymphocytes ang prone sa interphase death. Okay, next one is the mitotic. Siyempre, kung may interphase death tayo, yung actual na nag-divide naman, doon namatay yung cell, we call it the mitotic death. Sometimes, sinatawag si mitotic death as the genetic death. So sa ibang reference, they referred to mitotic death as the genetic death. So dito, death during cell division. So that during the cell division. So ano yung nagbubuo sa cell division natin sa mitosis? Kung sa interphase may G1, S and G2, sa mitotic part naman nandiyan si prophase, yan yung PMAT natin, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So in either part or either one of those sections ng mitosis, pag doon namatay yung cell habang nagdi-divide siya, ang tawag natin doon sa effect ng radiation na yun is mitotic death. Right? And so naabot niya yung lethal radiation dose na later pag-uusapan din natin. Okay, so next one, pag-usapan naman natin yung another categorization. Kanina, we are talking about cell damage ng radiation. Now, let's talk about the individual level. An individual radiation effects. So, kung individual na ang pinag-uusapan dito, this is already at the body level. Sa katawan. Yan, yung tao na. So, yung organism level, yung katawan na ng tao, which is sa case ng organism na to, tao. Yung katawan na ng tao, yung concern natin sa effect. Kanina, yung cell pa lang na bumubuo sa katawan. Ngayon, ay, ano na yung effect sa buong katawan? Okay, so number one na category dito is what we call somatic effect. Okay, pag sinabi nating somatic effect, this happens to the somatic cells or the somatic tissue. So, ang kasama dyan, all body cells or all organs or body cells ang except lang dito, ang exemption lang dyan is yung sex cells. Yan, yung mga gametes like yung sa egg and sa sperm. Yan. So, yung mga yung genetic damage na susunod natin pag-uusapan. So, yung genetic damage, that's the damage on the genes, yung mapapamana sa future generation. So, which is sa case ng mga nangyaring radiation incidents before, sila yung tinamaan ng radiation, pero yung effect ng radiation lumabas doon sa kanilang mga offspring, like sa mga anak, sa mga kaapu-apuhan. Ang tawag doon is genetic effect. Pero kapag categorize na somatic effect, okay, pagka-categorize na somatic effect, ang tinamaan dyan, or yung lumabas yung effect sa katawan ng mismong taong tinamaan nung radiation. And meron tong categories. We have the short term and the long term. Short term and long term. Syempre from the word short term, nangyayari si short term immediately. So immediate. So pagtama ng radiation, so immediate. Yan. So, pagtama ng radiation, halos lumalabas ka agad. It might be minutes, hours, or mga days lang. Yan, days lang yung inaabot, lumalabas ka agad yung effect. And dito pasok yung mga devastating effects ng radiation. Halimbawa na lang, yung death. Yan, yung namatay yung tao dahil sa pagtama ng malakas na radiation sa kanya, ang tawag natin doon short-term effect. Yan, yung mga acute radiation syndrome na itatakal natin sa mga next na topic. Yan, oftentimes associated with high dose. Yan, mga high dose radiation effect ang short-term effects. Ang common na manifestation yan ng mga short-term effects, yung nausea, now see vomiting and diarrhea. Yan yung mga common manifestation yan. Ayan, so nausea, vomiting, saka diarrhea. Yan yung common na ano niya na manifestation. Early manifestation na na nangyayari na yung effect ng radiation. Unlike kasi itong si long term, yung opposite ng short term, lumalabas siya delayed yung effect. Hindi mo siya kagad hindi mo siya kagad makikita. So it will take around weeks. And so actually yun yung mahaba ay pinaka maikli weeks, pero minsan umaabot ng months, even years, bago lumabas yung effect ng radiation. And that is what we call long-term effects. Yan yung mga kilala dito, yung example, yung cancer. Hindi naman automatically lalabas yung cancer pagka tumama yung radiation. It will take years yung niya, yung kanyang disease process bago siya totally maging full blast. Okay, so mga genetic damages pasok din dito. Okay, under the categorization still of the effects of radiation, we have the what you call deterministic and versus stochastic. Okay, pag sinabi nating deterministic, ito yung mas early. So mas early effect ng radiation. And oftentimes this deterministic is produced by high doses, but ang requirement nito bago mangyari ang deterministic effect, very specific kasi si deterministic because it will require the what you call threshold dose. And pag sinabi nating threshold dose, ito yung dose na kailangan bago lumabas yung effect ng radiation. So kapag mas mababa sa threshold dose, walang effect na mangyayari. Yan. Kaya mas associated sa early effects etong si deterministic. Kasi karaniwan yung mga threshold dose, matataas na dose ng radiation yan. So stochastic on the other hand, ito yung mas mga delayed na effects. So yung mga long-term effects, and delayed siya. So siya yung umaabot ng mga months to even years. So ito no threshold. So kahit anong doses, even walang doses ng radiation, possible siyang lumabas. Halimbawa yung cancer. So kahit hindi ka naman tinamaan ng radiation, possible na mangyari yung same na cancer. Halimbawa thyroid cancer na oftenly associated sa mga accidental radiation exposure. Pero kahit hindi ka naman tamaan ng radiation, possible na mag-emerge yung cancer. So kaya ang tawag natin sa mga effect na yun is stochastic effect. Okay, so they are more of probability na ang deterministic, nag-i-increase kasi yung severity niya, tumataas yung severity with increasing dose. Yan. So mas lumalala. Habang lumalakas yung dose ng radiation na binibigay or yung lakas ng radiation, mas nagiging severe yung damage. Sa stochastic, ang pag tumataas ang dose, rather instead na severity, ang tumataas is yung probability, yung chance na mag-manifest yung effect. Pero hindi siya lumalala. Yung chance lang na magkaroon. Halimbawa, as you increase the doses, tumataas yung chance or yung strength of radiation, tumataas yung chance na magkaroon ng cancer. So kaya ang technique natin sa medical imaging, we provide the lowest possible exposure or tinatawag nating ALARA na pag-uusapan natin to sa subject na to, then more elaborated sa other subject, yung continuation ng subject ng radiobiology, which is C, radiation protection, yung as low as reasonably achievable. So yung pinaka-ideal lang, yung pinaka-minimum na magbibigay ng good quality image na dose to avoid yung mga stochastic effect. Okay, then that's one. That's the what we call stochastic. Another, we have the genetic effect. Uh, okay, genetic effect. So kanina, yung mga pinag-uusapan natin, it's more of the somatic effect, yung nangyayari sa katawan nung mismong tinamaan. Sa genetic effect naman, ang effect lalabas doon sa mga offspring. Yan. So yung effect ng radiation doon sa mga descendants, offspring or descendants, yung mga magiging kaapu-apuhan or future generations. Like yung nangyari sa mga nuclear accidents before, yung mga binomba sa Japan, saka yung meltdown sa Chernobyl, yung mga nakasurvive doon, sila man yung tinamaan ng radiation, ang naging damage is sa reproductive cells. So yung DNA, yung genetic materials ng kanilang reproductive cells ay na nung nagkaroon sila ng mga offspring, doon lumabas yung effect ng radiation. And so reproductive cells yung concern dyan. Okay, so like yung nangyayari yung mga maliit yung ulo, anencephaly, yung marami yung mga galamay, yan yung may mga polydactyly, syndactyly, and possible associated dun sa abnormality or yung nagawang mutation nung radiation dun sa kanilang mga reproductive cells. Yan, yung future generations yung lalabasan nung epekto ng radiation. That is what we call genetic effects. Hindi yung mismong katawan nung tinamaan. Kasi pag ganon, hindi yun genetic, rather it is somatic effect. Okay, so speaking of the and speaking of mutation, ang tawag natin sa process ng induction ng mutation, we called it mutagenesis. Yan, mutagenesis. Okay, mutagenesis yung process. Yung process ng pag-i-induce ng mutation. Pag sinabi nating mutation, this is a change in the normal, dun sa normal na structure, genetic structure. So yung supposed to be dapat na DNA sequence niya para maging normal yung formation sa function, nagbago. So nasira yung dapat na forma niya. Kaya nung in-encode na siya nung cell, na nasira din yung growth and development or yung manifestation ng genetic code. Okay, so that's what we call the mutation. At yung process ng paggawa nito, mutagenesis. And one of the mutagens na tinatawag, yung mga nagkakos ng mutation is the ionizing radiation. Pero not essentially lahat ng mutation ay masama. May mga mutations din na beneficial. Pero majority of the time, yung concerning natin, yung mga negative mutations, yung mga debilitating, yung nakakasira ng anatomy and physiology ng mga organisms na na-expose sa radiation. Okay. Yan. Okay, mutagenesis. Next concept, we have the GSD. Pag sinabi nating GSD, this is the genetically significant dose. Pag sinabi natin genetically significant dose, ito yung estimated radiation dose. Estimated radiation dose ng reproductive population. And ang reproductive population na possible maka-affect, and that can affect the future generation. So ito yung dose ng radiation na natatanggap ng present na generation na concerned na pwedeng mag-manifest dun sa mga susunod pang generation. So it can help in assessing yung potential genetic impact nung current radiation exposure. Kaya sinesurvey ito ng mga different organizations to check kung significantly tumataas ba yung exposure ng current na population sa ionizing radiation, constituting both the background radiation, yung natural environmental, saka yung mga man-made. So kasi kapag significantly mataas, there's a possibility na yung genetically significant dose maapektuhan yung magiging forma ng katawan ng mga susunod na generation. Na instead na ganitong na halos kamuka na kamukhang kamuka nung mga tao nung naunang panahon, so baka sa susunod na mga taon, yung next generation, baka iba na yung forma ng itsura or katawan nila, which is connected tong GST sa konsepto ng evolution. Yan. So baka mag-trigger siya ng evolution. That evolution could be adaptive or destructive na pwede siyang positive or negative. Yan. Okay. So okay. So next natin siguro ano to okay. So uh, almost last part. Pag-usapan natin yung embryo and fetal effects. Embryo and fetal effects. Okay, so yung embryo sa fetal effects, meron tong mas detailed na discussion, yung irradiation in utero. So yung mga different forms ng damage like yung sa during major organogenesis, yung diminished growth and development, yung natin yung resorption of fetus or yung abortion. May ano to, meron tong well-detailed na ano na discussion sa next na mga topics natin. Pero dito as introduction dun sa mga types ng effect, pag sinabi nating embryo and fetal effects, this simply pertains dun sa irradiation in utero or yung effect ng yung effects ng irradiation in utero. So habang nasa uterus pa nung nanay, yung nagde-develop na organism, doon siya tinamaan ng radiation. And yung nagawang effect ng radiation, habang nasa womb pa siya ng mother, we called it embryo and the fetal effects depending upon kung anong stage siya ng pregnancy. Okay, so ito yung basic types ng ng embryonic and fetal effects na major three categories. Pero sa next na pag pinag-usapan natin ulit ito, meron pa tong mga sub effects. Like yun nga, yung diminished growth and development, childhood malignancy. Pero ito yung three broad categories. First, we have the pre-implantation. Okay, sa pre-implantation, usually this is 0 to 2 weeks. 0 to 2 weeks kung saan ano pa lang na papunta na sa embryonic stage or nasa embryonic stage na yung developing organism. So, yung high radiation dose dito, yung high radiation dose can cause, ang pwede niyang maging result ng high radiation dose na yan, it might cause embryonic death. So, dito sobrang ingat natin kapag nag-X-ray tayo, especially ng female. So we ask we secure kung yung ano ba kung yung babaeng pasyente hindi siya buntis, kasi kung buntis at nasa early stage yung pregnancy, nasa pre-implantation stage yung pagbubuntis niya 0 to 2 weeks, there's a high chance na mag-cause yun ng abortion, lalo kung super lakas nung exposure factor, and which is kung pelvic area at lumbar area, yung radiation exposure na ginagamit natin doon quite significantly maapektuhan yung embryo na nagde-develop. And yan nga yung pwedeng magkaroon ng abortion. Yan. So bago pa man instead na magtuloy-tuloy yung pregnancy, mamamatay na yung embryo sa loob. Yan. So embryonic death. And abortion yung ano niyan, yung kakalabasan niyan. It's actually kumbaga ba no effect or death. So either kapag naka-survive yung embryo, ang rule dito, pag naka-survive siya, pwede pa kasi younger tissue to, kaya malaki pa yung chance na makapag-repair. So kapag naka-survive, may possibility na walang epekto kung malampasan siya nung embryo. Pero kapag naapektuhan si embryo, it's resorption or mamamatay yung embryo. Kaya napaka ingat natin kapag dito yung nanditong stage ng pregnancy. So pag na-identify natin, we should refer the patient na mag-undergo ng other procedure kung kailangan talaga, or yung physician ay pabalikin sa physician kung talagang ipupush na mag-X-ray, there's a consent na kailangang pirmahan ng pasyente para makunan man siya, ligtas ka. Okay, so next one is during the stage of organogenesis. And organogenesis. Okay, during the organogenesis, this is around 2 to 8 weeks. So around 2 to 8 weeks yan. So dito pinaka-highly sensitive. Dito pinaka-sensitive yung developing fetus. Yan. So halos sa embryonic stage yung 0 to 2 weeks kasi yung 2 to 8 weeks na ito na yung pagbuo ng fetus. So marami ng major organs yung na nag-i-start na sumulpot na nagagawa nung pag-develop nung fetus. So ang concern dito dahil nga dito siya pinaka-sensitive. So under the concept of sensitivity kasi younger tissues like sa case nito batang-bata nabubuo pa lang siya. So, vulnerable siya sa effects ng radiation. Mataas yung radio sensitivity that even low radiation doses na kung i-relate natin sa may mature na tao, hindi ganun ka-concerning. Pero dahil nga sobrang bata pa nung tissue, kahit medyo mababa yung dose para sa isang normal ng tao, significantly damaging siya dun sa nabubuong mga organs. Kaya eto, pwedeng masira yung organ na nagde-develop, magkaroon ng malformation na tinatawag. And so hindi siya magmukhang ganong organ, instead na yung ulo, magmukhang totoong ulo, baka mawala siya, maging maliit yung bungo niya, maging deformed yung mga kamay, yung mga galamay niya. So that's what we call the malformation. Dito pinaka-sensitive yung developing fetus. Yan, maraming pwedeng organ malformations na mangyari. And last stage of the embryonic and fetal effects is yung fetal stage. Ito na yung formal na fetal stage natin. Yung 2 to 8 weeks kasi, it's ushering towards to becoming a formal fetus. Pero pagtungtong ng 8 weeks, and pagtungtong ng 8 weeks natin, so itong fetal stage, this is 8 weeks. And 8 weeks na to talaga. So, yung fetus, formally fetus na siya, kapag nasa fetal stage na, yung mga malformation, start ng mag-decrease ng probability. Ang major concern dito, hindi na yung madideform yung organ, but rather, magkakaroon ng possible diminished growth and development or growth retardation. Ay magiging retard yung paglaki ng mga organs niya. Hindi na made-deform yung organs, pero yung maapektuhan yung rate ng paglaki or yung tinatawag na growth retardation. So magiging mabagal yung paglaki niya saka yung pag-develop ng function ng mga organs that magkakaroon ng diminished growth and development. And another major concern dito, speaking of retardation, pwedeng yung retardation hindi physical, it can also be mental. Yan, yung ano yan, nakita yan sa mga anak nung mga Japanese survivors ng nuclear bombing sa Hiroshima sa Nagasaki, that some of their offspring, kahit anong sipag sa pag-aaral, nahihirapan silang matuto kasi yung physical structure ng brain is quite affected nung naging damage sa genetic yung sa genetic damage ng kanilang mga parents. Kaya yung naging manifestation, mental retardation ng mga bata. So hindi sila masyadong madaling matuto. Yan, mentally retarded. So iba yung pag mentally retarded talagang yung IQ super baba na yan yung parang sa case ng mga may Down syndrome, mentally retarded sila na hirap silang makaunawa ng gusto sa mga tao yung may autism yan na merong hirap sila makipag-communicate and maintindihan yung normal social behavior, and then that's mental retardation. And most concerning pa sa during the fetal stage is dito nangyayari yung possibility ng childhood malignancy. And childhood malignancy. So yung pag sinabi nating childhood malignancy, ito yung bata, may cancer na siya bago pa lumabas. So dahil dun sa genetic damage na nagawa nung radiation, nag-cause siya ng mutation sa cell nung nagde-develop na fetus. At habang nagde-develop yung fetus sa loob, kasabay na nagde-develop yung cancer cell. Na paglabas ng bata, may cancer na siya. Ang common na cancer dyan, leukemia, cancer ng blood. Kasi isa siya sa mga pinaka-sensitive na organ. As mentioned kanina, like sa case ng lymphocyte, yung commonly na naapektuhan. Okay, so yan, those are some of the important concepts that we are concerned muna. Next na continuation na to, mas i-elaborate pa natin siya, especially yung mga specifics sa mga categories like yung stochastic, deterministic, late effect, short effects, may mga important na specific example ng effects na pag-uusapan natin na belong dun sa mga major groupings na tinakal natin ngayon. But for the meantime, hanggang dito muna tayo, and hopefully you've learned something.